Good afternoon, YouTube. Here we are at the first creek crossing on the canyon trail, and this is January 14th. They had a pretty good rain, I guess, up here yesterday. We got about a quarter-inch down in the valley. Farther up the mountains on the other side, they got close to 2 inches of rain. And the creek has come up quite a bit. Last week you could walk across right on here. All of these rocks are all above water, and there was a couple of logs that people had thrown in there. You could get across. Now you have to go through here or down here. It's like knee deep, a little bit high for my taste, especially considering if I go that way, I've also got to come back this way, so I get wet twice. And this is going to just get worse because next week we have a small storm coming through in the middle of the week, and then starting at the weekend, so far they're predicting that we're getting about 2 inches of rain down in the valley, which up here could maybe be 6 inches to a foot of rain. In the video description, I'll put a link to the stream flow gauge for Stevens Creek. Now that gauge is about 5 miles downstream. If you use that as an indication, whatever the flow is down there, this is what that flow looks like up here. Somebody just walked across and it was about knee deep. I don't like wet feet, especially considering I was just going to go up the trail a ways and then hike a ways up this ridge. And hiking uphill with wet feet is just not my idea of something fun to do. Yeah, this may be impassable for a while. At least you're going to have to be willing to get wet feet going across here if you want to go across. There is still this way that people last year were going over this log here, although that looks pretty treacherous because it's all wet with green moss growing on it. Yeah, you can go across there, and then there's a little trail up here, and you go up through the brush over there, and then you come out over at that next little creek crossing.
Okay, so this is the Stevens Creek Inflow water sensor that the Valley Water District maintains. So like I mentioned, this flow sensor is probably 5 or 6 miles downstream from where the creek crossing is. You can use this, I think, as a proxy for the flow or the water level at the creek crossing. So for instance, I went up on January 1st, and on that day the creek was crossable, going over some rocks, and there were some logs in the water that you could step across. And that day the flow was around 6 CFS, so you want to use the black line here. And then I went up on the 7th, and the flow was a little bit lower, down around 5 CFS. So 5 to 6 CFS as measured at the reservoir is crossable up at the stream crossing. Now I went up on the 14th, and like I mentioned in the video, there was an overnight rainstorm, pretty good rainfall, probably an inch or two of rain up in the mountains. Got up over 70 CFS here at the peak of the storm. And then, like I said, I was up there Sunday afternoon, and we were down maybe 28 or 29 CFS. That was about knee-deep water to wade through. Yeah, be careful up there, but yeah, at least you can use this chart to kind of pre-plan your ride. If the water's a little bit too high, just plan not to go across the creek, or if you're okay with wet feet, go for it, I guess. Like I said, around 28 or 30 CFS was about knee deep. If you're down at 5 or 6 CFS, you can probably keep dry feet going across. And anything above 30 is probably going to be over your knees deep. So plan accordingly. Yeah, if you found that helpful, give the video a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.